about reporting something. That's if somebody expresses an opinion or expresses something that's hateful. You can't do anything about, like, I can't remember what the sign was, but the tweet that, it wasn't a tweet, the newsfeed that came across, it was a sign supposedly outside a Muslim store where they said, you know, we are going to kill Americans or something in some small town. So this is like a factual thing maybe, and then, you know, it was like, when are we going to wake up? So if it's a factual thing, maybe that sign didn't, I don't really know if it existed or not, but maybe that sign didn't exist, but the whole idea was, you know, the generalization that, okay, that, but we can't respond to that because it's not an opinion, it's something that's just saying this is a fact there. Look at this, what's out there. Am I correct about that?
So, so you're saying there's a sign that said what?
There, I don't know what the sign was, but let's say that the sign was out last 4th of July and it was something about, it was in front of a Muslim store and supposedly the Muslims had posted, you know, our mission is to kill Americans. And so somebody took a photo of that sign and then said,
you don't know if it was photoshopped or not. Yeah.
America, what are we waiting for? You know, but they made it seem like this was a lot of stuff.
Okay. I've seen those, yeah.
Factual things that happen, and then they.
I've seen a lot of those, and they're photoshopped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine it could be. But is that something you could report, or are they going to say no? This is.
I mean, you could report it,
Okay.
yeah. But if it's photoshopped and it's, you know, it's that kind of thing. I mean, honestly, it's like when there are celebrities who are, you know, photoshopped in the pictures that are not them.
Right.
You know, technically, can they sue? Yeah, but it's hard because, you know, tracking the person down and trying to prove that they actually did this. But I think in all those cases, it's always better. The truth is always better because, like, pretty guaranteed, 99% sure that the sign doesn't say that. So then it's like finding a way to, can you look on Google Maps and find the actual place?
Right.
And because you can see the virtual view of that place. Can you Google the place and see if that sign actually exists or not? And then if it doesn't, post that. You know, because I think that's often what happens is, like you said, it's easy. Like people do that Photoshop stuff all the time, and then they post something, and people are like, "Ooh, it's on the internet, must be true."
Right. Exactly.
You know, and I can literally. I mean, it's scary to say this, but I mean, we can do anything. I mean, you know, there was a pastor I worked with, this was like 10 years ago, and he was taking pictures and sermons of other people, and literally like word for word, like just stealing people's stuff. And he was like kind of a big deal, and he was just, you know, promoting it himself, and he got caught. But I'm saying, like, it's so easy. Like he was doing it for years, and nobody, you know, until somebody finally was like, I feel like I've heard this before. like word for word, and all the pictures are the same, and like, you know, so it's really easy to do it. That's why I personally feel that the way things are right now, we have an election coming up too, of course, which also leads to more stuff. In every community, being louder about positive stuff makes it huge. Like, my dream for Warminster and like this area of the suburbs is to host. I mean, that's one of the key things that organizations that do this kind of work say is the best for any community to combat hate speech is to host a community event. It's an interfaith event. And it looks different for every community. Some people do a big like 5K, where it's an interfaith 5K, and they have activities for kids, but it's promoted like they get all of the religious folk together, and it's like a big deal for the community, and they call it the Warminster Interfaith 5K. So the township owns it, the suburbs own it as their own event. Or other people do a huge gala dinner, kind of black tie sort of thing. Maybe that's, I'm not saying that's the best. Some people, you know, do festival days. Like, you know how the Catholic Church down the street, they do like a big festival? It'd be like that, but it'd be an interfaith festival. Those things are huge. They're so highly successful. And once you do it one time, it's like a snowball. Because all these groups then that are hiding, because they're sort of like, we're here, but we're not sure how people are going to react to us. They start appearing, and you're like, what the? we didn't have any idea that Warminster or Hatboro was like this.
Right.
That's like what happened in Lansdale. I mean, North Penn Mosque has been there forever.
Right.
But when some of their community members started to be on the board of directors of Man on Main Street, and they started to organize that 5K fundraiser every year, boom, like perception just wildly changes. And demographics changed after that. Like that's how much of a social impact it can have. They were vandalized more than once, that mosque. They had people bash all the, like they would have prayer meetings or other meetings, and people would wait until everybody's in the meeting, and they would go bash all the cars' windows. This is a community that's been through it, but they've learned too, the best way to respond is to do something positive, to get people together. Like an interfaith peace walk, those are other really highly successful ways to do it. That's why I think Philadelphia has changed drastically, even in the 7 years I've been here in this area. Man, it's really changed. Because I first came to Philadelphia when I was in the Presbyterian Church back when 9/11 happened, and the environment before 9/11 and even a little bit after was way different than it is now. Way better. But in our suburbs, I think, again, it's just people are loud. And it's like when we became open and affirming, I mean, why did our signs get stolen? I mean, who does that? Well, it's probably the same people who called me and wrote me these terrible emails. You know?
What got sold?
The signs we have now, we had to, the rainbow sign.
The rainbow sign, we put it out
The original one got stolen.
outside.